All right, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Policy here with your host Dago, and we got our VP, Joshua Amador. All right, so this month we're going to talk about some summer news. We're going to go ahead and start off with health. It's Health Men's Awareness Month. It's Men's Health Awareness Month. I'm sorry about that. And some interesting facts that we got to let you guys know is that men are more frequent to get terminally ill than women. And one specific stat that I'd like to share with you, I'm going to share a couple actually. So the top three reasons for death between 25-year-olds and 44-year-olds, the top three are accidental injuries, cancer, and heart disease. So those are the top three. Now from those three, check this out. Men, 1 in every 2 men is diagnosed with cancer throughout a period in their lives. So something very important, if you don't have health insurance, you don't have coverage against those type of illnesses, I strongly recommend you go ahead and go to our website or give us a call and make sure that one of our comfort agents helps you out in exactly what it is that you need. Whether it's life insurance or health insurance, I mean, that's what we do here. With that, any additional facts on health insurance for men, Josh?
Well, not health insurance specifically, but this is just in general, just more general data. This was from a study that was conducted last year, actually, from the University of Indiana. And I find it astonishing that only 60% of men go to the doctor for a yearly routine checkup, and 40% won't go until something is seriously wrong. I can attest for this, all right? But I'm doing better now. I actually, went to the doctor and I started seeing him more frequently now, so doing better on that. And then the study says, despite these statistics, 20% of men report seeing a doctor so their significant other or loved one will stop nagging them. So, I mean, I
can relate to that one.
It has to be important to us as men. And I think it's because, we're all like strong and I'm okay, I can get by and I feel good, nothing's wrong. But the fact of the matter is that we have to mitigate these risks. And one of those mitigations is by going to see the doctor. It's so simple, just get your checkup. So that's important. And some other facts that all men should know is that the overall mortality rate is 41% higher for men than for women, and it's higher for men for 8 out of 10 leading causes of death, including, like you said, heart disease, cancer, stroke, and diabetes. 31% of men suffer from depression in their lifetime, and 9% of men have a daily feelings of depression or anxiety. And that's kind of coincides with what we talked about last month with the whole suicide thing. And then just to fact check you over here, prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths for men in the United States. And a man is 2 to 3 times more likely to get prostate cancer if his father or brother or son had it. So definitely something to keep in mind, us as men, and for all the men out there, right? To make sure that you're getting your checkups, all right?
Get your checkups.
And just like our ladies, we told our ladies to do it, we got to do it too.
Hell yeah.
Right. So I think that's important.
We want to make sure that we're healthy to serve our families, to serve our wives or spouses. So let's do let's play our part, let's do our part and get ourselves checked also, all right? With that, I also wanted to add to a couple points that you mentioned. The simple fact that men die more frequently than women, that is one of the factors why life insurance is a little bit more expensive for men. So the younger you get it, the more beneficial it is for you because number one, you'll save money throughout your lifetime. And number two, that way you can get a higher lump sum for less amount of money. So definitely recommend you guys take a look at that if you haven't done so before. Aside from that, let's go on to the next topic. Summer news for home and auto. Right now, Florida is in a particular situation that we come across every single year. It's summertime, and when it's summertime, home insurance carriers usually like to close the doors. So right now we're in a tough spot simply because hurricanes have or will soon start to get built up, and that's why some home insurance companies, most home insurance companies, are closing doors. I'll let Josh elaborate a little bit more about that.
So, with regard to always, having an option, the benefit that we have is that we're always going to have an option somewhere, and I just think it's important that the research is done, elaborate research is done. You get yourself a good agent that's going to do the work for you, right? Don't try to do it yourself. It's not that simple, okay? And for those that think it's simple, it's really not that simple.
You might miss a thing or two.
But either way, that's what you have us for. We do the job for you, okay? Just know that there's options, and we're gonna get you covered one way or another. Not gonna promise you anything, right? I'm not gonna risk anything, but do keep in mind that make sure that you got your reports ready. When you're shopping, and you have your inspections ready. You have your any documentation that's gonna help, so that we can get you the right information. Otherwise, we're just guessing, and the last thing you want is to be guessing. Nobody should be guessing, especially us here. We want to deliver the best service possible, and we avoid that by taking out the guesswork. Right. So help us out, okay? We're gonna help you out, but if you are in need of an additional option, second option for your homeowners, or any property for that matter, we're here for you. We're going to deliver that for you. We can discuss over here how last week, it was last Wednesday. Last Wednesday would have been the 12th, was it? And there was not even a hurricane. This does not happen with a hurricane. Let's be clear about that. This was just a very powerful storm that came by. And it wasn't even a named storm, right? It wasn't a named storm.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was just a regular storm. And
regular raining.
I don't know if you guys follow news or South Florida, for those of you that live down here, but if you looked at the news that day, there was chaos all over the city, and really in the northeastern part of the state.
You didn't even need to see the news. If
Right.
you were living here,
right?
you
It
felt
was.
it.
I mean, walking out of here, it was horrible. It was. I was a lake. It was a lake walking to my car. It was.
You needed a canoe to get to your car.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty bad, and I think I was telling my wife the other day that I don't know if that it's gotten worse, or maybe because we're older now, we see it more happening. But I don't know if it's happening more often, these crazy floods. There's that myth. I say it's a myth because you hear that when you live down here. Oh, Miami's gonna be underwater, and I don't believe it. But sometimes you're like, man, like this is pretty bad.
Climate change is real, Josh.
I know. I believe. No, I know it's real. But like, I hate to believe that all of Miami is gonna be underwater one day.
People don't say Miami. People say Florida.
I mean, I don't know. I believe that there is there has to be a fixture for this. Like, it can't just be that, oh yeah, we're gonna let all of Miami like, no way we're gonna be underwater. I don't believe. Atlantis, we're gonna be Atlantis.
Maybe we have like a dome go over us and make sure all the water doesn't get in.
Oh man, but no, I mean, with regards to flood, man, let's take care of the flooding. You have to be prepared, okay? You have to make sure that like the saying goes, you got your ducks in a row, especially when you're dealing with these floods, okay? And there's really 4 phases, and there's 4 phases, and the first one is you got to develop a plan. I got to have a plan, and know obviously how do you develop a plan? Well, make sure you have flood insurance first of all. That's a plan. That's part of the plan. But developing the plan, preparing for what the horrible, what could happen, the preparation, then of course the during, right, while it's going on, and let's say your home is flooded, there has to be we shouldn't be guessing at that point, what am I supposed to do now? Like, we should be prepared for that during the flood, and then of course the post-flood procedures. And I can go into that and give a little more details about that. But it's similar to like preparing for a hurricane and all that stuff. But you got the first aid kits, the 3-day supply of non-perishable foods, the hand and power tools, low pressure, high volume gasoline fuel pumps to remove flood water if it does happen. Two-way radio or cell phones with spare batteries, flashlights. You know, all the things that you would normally need for a hurricane.
Right.
Plumbing, sandbags, right? That's really like, that's the pre-flood preparation. Then of course during the flood, right? And we could send you guys these resources. I'm just reading this off what I got, but we can definitely send it to you guys, or you can just call us and, you know, we'll help you out with this stuff. But you know, during the flood it's critical to maintain, like, take pictures of what's going on, right? Of course, and do whatever you can to mitigate what's going on at that point. That's why it's important to, you know, prevent any worse chaos that could occur.
Something that I do want to clear up, that a lot of people think that they got flood, but most people don't have flood, is that people think that just because you have home insurance, you have flood insurance, or if
Right.
you know, you have some water seeping in from outside, because outside there's 3 feet of water, but inside there's nothing in coming from the roof. If it's not coming from the roof and the flood is coming through the door, the water's coming through the door, yeah, most likely your insurance, if you don't have flood coverage added on to that policy, most likely they're not going to want to cover it. So these are the little things that you have to know when shopping around for your insurance. And that's why you're going to have us, or that's why you should be contacting us, so that we can serve you and we can be that agent for you. So very important, flood coverage is normally separate unless you added it on to the existing coverage. But not many companies do that. So like I said, just review your coverages. And if you haven't reviewed them, send it over to us. We'll do that for you. Other than flood, what else we got?
This is really aside from the dark part of it, right? Of floods. But we can talk about how, you know, us 90s, we're 90s babies. So I'm putting out my age out there. We're 90s babies. And I was reading an article talking about 90s cars and how 90s cars are now collectible. And I was like, man, now I'm collectible too then, right?
That was a good one. Oh, man. Okay.
But you know, I'm like, wow, look, like it's just crazy how, you know, obviously we're talking about 1994, right? 2024, obviously 30 years ago. And so I don't know if you want to hear some of this. This is actually pretty cool. But to 1994, right? Jeff Bezos launches Amazon out of his Bellevue, Washington garage. Some other things that happened in 1994. Okay, Harry Styles was born. I'm not sure. That might be important to somebody.
30 years ago.
The Ford Bronco becomes the most talked about make and model, right?
Okay.
A few short hours when Mr. You know led a police on a car chase. And some other things that I found, like, oh wow, that was 30 years ago already. Nelson Mandela became the first president of South Africa 30 years ago. And yeah, those were the ones that I liked the most so far. Yeah.
So, along with those cars, I mean, I'm a car guy, and what happens now is that when your car is 25 years or older, you can get the antique plate, the antique plate, and you can also put it on your insurance as an antique or a car that you barely drive. So normally the premium on those cars, or because the mileage is not going to be the same as your daily driver, normally the premium on those cars, you know, isn't that much more. So those of you that are thinking about getting into the collectible business, it could be result in something positive for you. I'm a car guy, so I just use it to disconnect from everything else. So thanks for sharing that. I'm a collectible now also.
Yeah.
I was born in the 90s, so I'm officially a collectible.
Hey.
Along with that, guys, I don't see here that we have any additional urgent news. But again, I'm going to touch that topic one more time. There's 350,000 men that die from cardiovascular disease per year in the United States. So again, I just ask you guys to just do the minimum. Just do the preventive care, and that preventive care will show you, you know, what really needs to be checked and what doesn't, what's good, what's bad, and what you need to change. Because at the end of the day, Nothing's going to change unless it starts with you. So with that, guys, we'll see you around for the next time, on the next episode. If you have any questions or you have any topics that you want to discuss here on our podcast, please feel free to comment or just let us know. What do you want to hear? What questions do you have? What myths are out there that you want cleared up? Let us know. We're here to help. Check us out, Comfort Insurance.